Hey, Paul Morrell again, back Smart Financial Lifestyles. And I have a great guest today, Pat Murray. We're going to talk a little bit about financial things, and we're going to talk about lifetimes of Pat Murray. But most of all, let's introduce Pat because he comes from the City of Champions. And if you don't know who that is, he's going to explain it to us. Hey, welcome, Pat.
That's right, Paul. Thanks for having me. This is glad to be here. Yes, my name is Pat Murray. As Paul said, I am from Brockton, Massachusetts.
Brockton,
City of Champions.
It's called, it's the City of Champions because of
Rocky Marciano, number one, who was a heavyweight champion of the world, and then Marvin Hagler. And if you got a minute, I got a quick story about Marvin Hagler.
Yeah.
He got in a car accident right in front of our house, and when I was a little kid, my mom sent myself and my brothers out to get his autograph right after he got in a car crash.
Well, wait a minute. Was he already a champion?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
he was. Okay.
He was not happy about the autograph.
Oh, he wasn't?
No.
No. Was he happy about the car crash?
No.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So
Don't tell us any more
Yeah.
about Marvin Hagler and his crash. So that was interesting. So you grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts. You haven't gone far.
No. I married my wife out of college, and we've been together for 36 years.
Wow.
She comes from Winthrop, right by the airport.
Mass. And which college?
SMU, which is no longer there. It's now the University of Massachusetts in Dartmouth.
Yes, UMass.
Which used to be
a lot of
SMU.
a lot of great UMass graduates, in our firm and among our clientele over the years. I mean, actually, I'll give a little plug to the UMass system. We've got a great financial school out at UMass Amherst Eisenberg. We've got UMass Lowell. Thank you, Marty Meehan, where my daughter has had a business for years and employs people from UMass. We were really big Lowell, Massachusetts fans. And I would say that, again, our firm, which is in Massachusetts, this is the main footprint. Our firm has experience with a lot of folks that are products. Behind me, Northeastern University for myself, my brother, Tufts University. I mean, we didn't go far either.
No.
Right?
Yes.
So, you married?
So married, yep, for quite a while now, 36 years. She was in Winthrop, I was in Brockton. We decided to get somewhere in between so we could be with our families. So we ended up in Weymouth, actually, for 7 years to the day in a home, which was the average amount of time someone lived in a home. So we did that. And then we've moved to Situate, Mass, where we live now, down the South Shore.
Because you are, I understand, addicted to the ocean.
Well, yes, and I'm a little avid boater, and I got that from my father, who was a school teacher. He had 3 months off in the summer. He had 5 children. The 5 children, his wife, my mother, and himself, in a 26-foot sailboat for 2 months on the water, a sailboat. And so we all grew out of that. I have 2 brothers who sail, as I mentioned to you earlier when I was talking to you. They're sailors as well. I'm a powerboater, so I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm the only one that went powerboating rather than sailing. So
I've known that because of our clientele over the years. Powerboating is a lot of fun, but also you better keep working because I see what those checks are for the engines.
Oh,
because there is nothing that provides power like a new
break
engine.
out another 1,000, they say.
Exactly.
But that's our fun. That's where we spend our money, I guess, and we enjoy it. We've been there for years, and we've got 2 kids. You mentioned UMass. One of my youngest son was UMass Amherst.
Okay.
He's an engineer. He's working with an engineering firm down in Plymouth.
Good.
He's
he's not far either.
He's in a condo about 20 minutes south of us, so we get to take care of his dog occasionally.
Okay.
So he's doing well. And my oldest son is he graduated Quinnipiac, and he married last year. And they bought a home in Weymouth. So he's about 30 minutes away. So it's
my
nice.
best friend in life since I was a little squirt in New Haven, Connecticut. Many of you that listen to this know that I'm a downtown New Haven kid who basically escaped from triple deckers and what we would call an Italian ghetto today. And I escaped. My best friend in life went to Quinnipiac.
Is that right? Yeah.
Became a very successful international consultant with offices in Stockholm and Tokyo and New York and whatever. And I will tell you what a bang for the buck Quinnipiac is for education.
Yeah.
And now a little side note for those of you that are listening that don't know this story. the success of Quinnipiac, I think, is due in large part because of Murray Lender and the Lender Bagel family, and Lender's Bagels, which was what I grew up on. They were the local Lender Bagel Bakery, and everybody worked there. Their moms worked there, the kids worked there, everybody worked there. And then Murray Lender, very generous fellow, ended up sponsoring a lot of stuff at Quinnipiac. He's a Quinnipiac product too. And in fact, here's the tidbit, just so you don't know, he bought Bridgeport Law, an entire law school, and moved it to Quinnipiac. And it is now the Quinnipiac Lender Law Library. He bought the whole law school there. It was quite a story.
Well,
yeah, he's a real super fixture. So I love Quinnipiac. And I think I heard recently from some clients that their kids or daughters got scholarships to go there to play field hockey, which is really, talk about a niche, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
so Pat,
All that said, Paul, the best thing my son got out of Quinnipiac was his lovely wife.
oh boy.
So,
Okay, he's making points today because
yeah.
he knows the public is going to see this. So they're definitely going to invite you over for 4th of July, and they're going to cook.
And that's the same place I met my wife is at college as well. So, and that's probably why we've lasted so long. So it's been great. And she loves to tell me every day how much she would like to retire. She's a nurse for 36 years
Whoa.
at Tufts in Boston.
It's a
So,
grind.
but so she's ready, and I think she deserves it.
Yeah, 36 years as a nurse. I'll tell you what. We won't even go into the whole meaning of what nursing has changed from where they used to be sort of an addition. Now they do 95% of all the work. I don't want to knock the doctors, but I know that one thing about nursing is it's very physical. You spend a lot of time on your feet. And I having done some work with people in the medical field over the years, that I would say that nurses went through a long period of time of underappreciation and maybe et cetera, and now they have pretty strong sort of group, guild, union, whatever you want to call it, mass nurses. I think they deserve to have good representation, get paid well.
Yes.
End of that story. So tell me about your occupational history. So you grew up in Brockton, but you didn't become a boxer.
No, I was not boxing material, but I did end up in the heating and plumbing commercial industry as a manufacturer's rep. So I sold to big commercial mechanical companies, big commercial equipment, rooftop units and boilers and so forth. And so I did that for many, many years. And then I moved over to the residential industry. And what happened was I ended up, when times got slow, which they do, as we all know, over the few years, there's layoffs. And I got laid off a couple times during my career as in plumbing industry. So one time I finally said, you know what, I want to get a career where I'm not going to get laid off, and I'm going to get into something different that really makes a difference. So I retrained, I got all my licenses and my insurance, and I got licensed in 2008. I ended up joining an accountant, a CPA, with his firm. Doing taxes, I actually learned to do with taxes with him as well, and financial business as well. So I got off on the right foot, and learning insurance, taxes, investments all at once. And got a great start.
So
there.
so you basically ate the whole elephant all at once, because we're going to talk a lot about that. And in the financial world, again, entering the financial world through income taxes is actually a very common sort of career trajectory. But it's one of the 9 licenses that you need to actually produce quality, comprehensive financial plans. With a financial team is, legal and tax and investment and brokerage and insurance and Medicare and property casualty, all these different things. So Pat, so you started in the tax area. It's one of the things that we're going to talk about. And then you migrated out of that into wealth management or private wealth management, which is what you do now. And I know you're associated with the Legacy Financial Advisors, the firm that I started like 50 years ago. And also you happen to be one of the people that we endorse to Smart Financial because of the fact that you actually know how to do some of the techniques in these 3 books that are above my head. Smart Financial Grandparenting, Smart Financial Longevity, and the Smart Financial Wealth Building for Young People. Now, you're not young anymore, and although you do have kids coming up and grandkids coming along probably and all that, and the whole landscape of this business has changed dramatically. So tell me, we're talking here, it's 2026. The financial industry is being impacted by, all the kind of things that every other industry had. It's the collision of technology in the money business, technology in the insurance business, technology in product development. In fact, I bet you remember, coming from plumbing and heating and all that there was probably an era when everybody looked at their window and said, why do I have a 25-year-old air conditioner that burns a ton of fuel when I can basically get a modernized product that's 95% efficient, and things change. And that is true in the financial industry too. So in the financial industry today, things have changed dramatically. So tell me, what do you think are, when you talk to clients, and I know you work a lot with people that are from 55, say to 75, they're in sort of the glide path, their wheels aren't down yet, but sort of circling the airport for, retirement or the third stage. What are the three big things you think in terms of topics? Now, we don't talk about hot stocks on this show because we don't know who we're talking to. It might be grossly inappropriate and either offend a lot of people or get poor Pat in trouble. So we're not talking about stock predictions. I'm talking about the top three categories of concern for people that are, mature, 55 and over, so they can kind of see the finish line coming, right? What are they thinking and worrying about?
Well, mostly what I run into, and I think that the older we get, and it includes myself, the smarter we get financially. So we pay more attention to these things. And it's almost April now, so on the topic right now is with people is taxes. Why am I paying so much taxes? How can I reduce these things? There's got to be ways. There's got to be, and most people don't have the tools to figure out how to do it, and they need someone to help them and guide them through this. But reducing taxes is one of the things. Also, they're passing a lot of assets down to their children, and there's good things you can pass down to your kids, and there's bad things, and the bad things are fully taxable. So that's what they're trying to reduce and get away from.
Well, in that area alone, I will tell you, Pat and I were looking recently. I mean, Roth conversions of IRAs, like the number 2 topic being searched on Google right now. And the reason is there's a window of opportunity here, and the window looks like this. Right now, there's a few extra sort of tax benefits for retirees. I mean, they're temporary, they're going to expire, but it's a little bit of a window of a couple of years. Second thing is it's a window of certainty about taxes. If you look at the chart, and you can get it from us, by the way, everything we mentioned on this podcast that you want a copy of, we can get to you. And one of the charts is from the statistical group that charts the maximum tax rates in America. We are at the lowest tax rates since like World War II for affluent people. And the predictions for the future are very uncertain. So we're in an area of certainty going into an area of uncertainty. So we have certain taxes today. We know what they are. Highly likely they will be a different number in the future, probably higher, right? So we have this certain sort of little window also where we have some, extra tax benefits for deductions and stuff like that, which, by the way, these things are highly political. They're going to expire. There's going to be another administration, someone who's 55, right, who's going to have a long life expectancy. They're probably going to see 5 more, either we'll call them presidential or administrations of Democratic and Republican types. And what we've seen, I started our firm, the place we're sitting in right now, in 1974. I got on Northeastern. We started in business between 1974 and now. There's been 60 tax changes. Okay, this is nuts, right? So I do think there's going to be more tax changes, and technology is also affecting that. So taxes are one big thing. What's the other way people can lose their money that they're worried about?
Well, they're worried about risk in the market. I mean, the 55 to 75 group has been through and seen different market changes. They've seen losses and serious losses in the market, and they've worked their whole life, and especially that 55 to 65, 70 age where they've accumulated most of their money from their retirement plans. They don't want to see that go, and so they don't want to see that kind of risk cutting out of their money that they can use to take care of the other thing of taxes and other things they need to take care of. They need the funds to be able to do that. So.
Very interesting about market risk. I'll refer back up to these little books floating above my head here. It's interesting when we talk to people in the longevity space and the grandparent space, they lived through the meltdown. Y2K, 2000, dot-com crash, 2008, which was a 7-year recovery for the S&P, right? They don't want to do it again. 7-year recovery. If you happen to be 60, means you don't get back to even until 67. That's ouch. However, I will say, as part of this entire thing, in my wealth building book for millennials, you should ignore all that I just said, because if you're a millennial, you're going to have ups and downs, and you're going to have 3 or 4 cycles at least, even if the cycles are only 7 or 8 years. So relax on that. That is not a topic for the X-Geners, which are 50 to 60, or the Boomers, which are 60 to 80. So that's the worry crowd. The wealth builders, they should be the better than the red crowd. So there's 2 topics I know that are at the top. One is losing all their money to taxes, and then losing all their money to market risk. What's the third big one that hits the older population?
Well, the older population, what I'm asked about all the time now, and is a big factor, is the long-term care coverage. Who's going to take care of me? I don't want to put the burden on my kids. I want to be able to have money to have myself taken care of. How do I do that? What's involved? And I've handled a lot of long-term care cases in the past. The problem we run into today is the long-term care, the conventional products. It's kind of a mess. There's probably 1 company or 2 left in Massachusetts that actually sell long-term care conventional products. Now, I've sold a few products in the past with clients, and now what I'm running into is I've had to tell clients, your policy's gone up 50% the next 3 years. And after that, your policy's gone up 30% the next 2 years. So they're constantly increasing, and you have no control over that. That's money that you've spent, that you've hashed out and said, this is what I'd like to pay to be able to cover these certain benefits. And now they're being told they've got to spend more and more and more.
Yeah, let me put that in context. And again, I mentioned this in, I believe, especially in the longevity planning book, because the thing you can plan for. Some people, by the way, that get into these things are really stuck. There's no out for them. But let me just say, what Pat's referring to is the traditional long-term care industry was invented. You pay a premium. If you get sick and you go to a nursing home, they pay the bill. Okay. Now, when that product was developed, it was developed on the basis of an actuarial guess about morbidity, not mortality. Now, we have very good records on mortality. We have very good records on when people get sick and die and life expectancy. We had crummy records on morbidity, which is health claim action. And so what the insurance commissioners did in these states, like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, is they said, okay, you can bring out a product and you can charge Pat $3,000 a year. However, if we get a lot of claims, we want the ability to come back to Pat and say, I'm going to double your premium. And so if you give an insurance company an out and the ability to raise the premiums, guess what they're going to do? They raise the premiums. Okay. So, and we have had, again, the tragic story, and again, we've had it in our practice, many clients. Big companies you've heard of. We won't bash them along, but I will just say they're very easy to look up. And if you want more information about that, you can contact us. But many of them gone up 100%. That means you started off, Pat's a nice, healthy young guy. He's paying $3,000 for him, $3,000 for his wife. They figure out long-term care coverage. All of a sudden, he gets to be 70 years old. They say, oh, it's going to be $6,000 or $9,000, and it's a budget buster. And then what are your choices? Well, here's the problem with traditional long-term care. It is a risk management tool. However, it's kind of we call a sudden death product. That means that if you happen to get lucky and die in your sleep, and you've paid $300,000 in premiums, that money's just vaporized. It's gone, right? Now, this sounds sick to say this, but if you're lucky and you make a claim in your long-term care and you end up in a nursing home, you might actually recover back $600,000 for your premiums. Okay, I guess it sounds weird to be lucky to get sick and make a claim, but it's very much like property and casualty insurance on your home. We're all paying premiums at our houses, but when Pat drives home today to the South Shore, he doesn't want to pray his house burns down to make money. He wants everybody else's house to burn down, right? He would rather waste the premiums, right? And that is a risk management tool. So I know that you in particular, and the reason I invited you today is because I've seen your work on this. You in particular have become very experienced with what we call a double play products where you don't lose your money. Tell me about the combination life long-term care and annuity long-term, just in general, how they function.
Yes, well, you pretty much are in charge of your money more than you are with the conventional, what you mentioned. You know what your outlay is in money for a time period you're going to have it for. They typically pay you if you require long-term care of any type, 2-3 times the amount of money that you put into it. So you're doubling or tripling your money automatically. The money, as you say, doesn't go away. If you pass on, it'll go to your beneficiaries. So you never lose the money, so to speak. The clock doesn't turn over and you have to start paying again. So it's good in that respect. There's a lot of other little features in there that are beneficial of paying both parties and covering both parties. The annuities are tax deferred, which we spoke about taxes, so that's very helpful. So you know what you're paying out in advance. You're not getting hit with increases yearly. Ridiculous increases. These insurance companies are around for a long time. They're not getting out of the industry like in the conventional long-term care business. That's pretty much
it's what we call a different chassis. Okay, so here's the difference. What Pat's talking about, there are long-term care risk management products that are not built on the traditional morbidity chassis. They're built on either a life insurance company chassis or an annuity company chassis. These are very, very old, well-documented, factual, technical basis for products. So what it means is that you can actually cover your risk of getting sick and ending it up in home care or nursing care without losing your money. In fact, I will tell you, both Pat and I have done cases where we've done programming with people, and these products are leverage products. People don't mind, right, having an insurance company hold their money if they're going to get some leverage out of it. And what I mean by that is you cannot invest your way out of this unless you tell me, and by the way, if you know a way to triple your money in one day, call me, I'll put my money in there. But if you buy one of these products, I did one for $307,000 and the client automatically had $900,000 of long-term care the next day. And I think Pat recently did the same thing. So what does that mean? That means we're all going to spend money on some of this, whether it's home care, long-term care. And you know what? If we don't, our family gets the money back. It's a money back guarantee like you read about. And I think this is a very popular security feeling. So why not get leverage? If you can get 300% instant long-term care return, that's a hard thing to beat by just investing that money in the marketplace. You could turn 300 into 900, but it's not overnight, I'll tell you that. So Pat, when you're building either a smart financial longevity plan or a grandparenting plan that has these kind of products in it, how do you go about building it and programming it, and how many people do you need to kind of get on the team?
Well, typically with all these things we spoke of, you need a lot of people on the team. You need a lot of different licenses, and you need a lot of professionals who specialize in every aspect of these things. If you're lucky, you can, as I mentioned, I started out in insurance and taxes and investments. So I like to wrap my arms around the client in all those three things. And then there's other individuals who handle the other parts of the plan that are required. So it can be a lot of people.
Yeah, I think, by the way, I think Pat has shown recently the back page of, I think, the grandparenting book. I think the last chapter in grandparenting, which you can get a copy of. Again, if you reach out to us, you subscribe to the channel, you email us, we'll be happy to send you a free ebook copy, or certainly you can go on Amazon if you're a Prime member, buy the book, download it, whatever. They've recently been translated to Spanish. The entire grandparenting book is in Spanish. The other two are being translated now. And in fact, in the last chapter of grandparenting, it tells you exactly how to build a financial advice team with all the licenses. And I think, Pat, it's also in the longevity book, right?
Yes, in longevity, which I happen to have a book here. It does talk about the team
I'm
that's
shocked
required.
he has one of my books in his lap.
So
Okay.
This is a team approach. You cannot do this individually with one or two people. You need to have an outfit who has access to all these different avenues of the financial plan. And mainly the reason I jumped on board with Legacy is because of that, because of their expertise and the financial experts they have, and the wide range of different individuals I now have access to. So
we have again a very big promotion in our firm over the last 40 years. Ever since this area of wealth management developed. And again, keep in mind, this is a mature industry now. It was a very incipient industry when I started. It's just kind of a weird thing to say, but everybody was a stockbroker and that's what they did. But this is way beyond that. So when people say, why do I need to do this? I have a stockbroker. Well, you need a lot more than a broker, right? You need an investment advisor. You need someone who is very experienced with healthcare in the Medicare area, which is a special license for Medicare. You need people that are tax professionals, not just with your personal tax bracket, but the most important tax calculation if you have family is the full family tax bracket. That means you take yours and your children's. Because if you have an IRA, you're going to pay taxes, or your children's are going to pay taxes, or you're both going to pay taxes. And if you don't do anything about it, it's both. That means 25% for you, 40% for the kids. That's a 65% tax bracket. And folks, there is no getting out of it. There is no magic bullet. It's a pay me now or pay me later system. And again, like Pat, who's got very successful kids, a lot of our children and grandchildren, they're going to grow up to be more successful than we are, have higher tax brackets, live in higher tax bracket states like California, New York, New Jersey. My son lives in Manhattan. And when he and his young fellows started making money, they were shocked. They were in a 50% tax bracket, 5-0. And guess what? It's because they have federal, state, and city tax, right? Now, if you can imagine, and I'll use myself as an example, right? If I leave $1 million IRA that I've paid taxes on all these years for my requirement and distribution to my son, he loses half the money. Now, if you don't like your kids, my advice is leave me your tax bill. Okay? I've said this many times. If you like your children, right, then don't leave them. This is like a nasty gram from the grave. Right?
Coal in the stocking.
Yeah, don't leave them your tax bill. So, in order to sort of wrap this up a little bit, so I think people are listening and they might be saying, oh, okay, these guys, they sound like they know what they're talking about. But how do you sort of get a hold of a person who is smart in all these different areas and builds a fully comprehensive plan? But what's like the first thing that people need to do?
Well, first thing is to actually sit down and go through a kind of a comprehensive planning with a counselor or an advisor like myself or like Paul. I mean, myself, I'm down, like I said, on the South Shore. My office is in Norwell at the Norwell Executive Park, conveniently located in Route 53. I can easily be accessible through Legacy Financial Group on their website and all the contact information here as well. But to sit down and really talk about what you're true, we can't do our job unless we hear from you and we know what you're truly trying to get at. So
it's interesting because I actually have something recently. If you folks are on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a professional site, and I saw something recently about AI. So this is a scary time, but we'll talk about it. They talk about artificial intelligence replacing people. And by the way, I'm very intrigued with robots that do the dishes. I hate to do dishes. Robots that do laundry sounds good to me, right? I'm all excited about that part. However, I will tell you, I don't think there's any substitute for meeting and eyeballing somebody in person. And so what we have done over the years is we do have initial meetings with people by Zoom. It's called the initial handshake, or they come to one of our meetings or seminars. And we're doing actually some in Braintree, Massachusetts, for the South Shore people where Pat specializes his area. And I think it's great to be able to meet online, get some preliminary stuff. But when it comes down to actually making significant decisions about who you work with in your financial life, it's really worthwhile to meet with people, check out sort of what the sailors say, the cut of their jib, just to see if you're on the same radio station with them. Now, of course, if you want to reach Pat or any of the people that are in the Legacy group or the Smart Financial folks that we endorse, just reach out to us, subscribe to the channel. By the way, share this with other folks that are over 50 years old that are thinking, how can I build a comprehensive, total wealth management team? Because what we have concluded, by the way, is that late life health care cost management is wealth management. If you don't pay attention to Medicare and long-term care, and you've worked your brains off to build up your net worth, and then you vaporize $1.5 million. Now, I will tell you, a lot of people know my personal story. My parents spent 8 years in long-term care, right? My father was an old-world Sicilian businessman. He loved to roll off the hundreds, and he paid it all in cash. He was a successful guy. However, I'm not saying, don't knock me, Dad, I'm not saying that was the smartest way to do it. My father paid everything in cash, but the tools and techniques available today are not what my parents had 10 years ago. So let's be smart about this. That's why we call this smart financial lifestyle. Let's use our smarts and use people like Pat so that you can leverage up the dollars you've worked for and protect yourself against the three big risks: risk of losing your money in the market, risk of losing your money to taxes, and risk of losing your money to late life healthcare costs. So Pat, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your busy day and getting off your sailboat. Right? Although, folks, I could show you outside that it's snowing here in Massachusetts. So Pat's he's not unwrapping his big expensive boat, but you know how it is, right? If you have a boat, you have to work, right? To pay for the boat, the repair, the storage, putting it in a dock, taking it out of the dock. I mean, it is a big hole in the water you dump money into, isn't it, Pat?
It is. I've been in this business for a while now, and I see myself being in this business for much, much longer, as I do enjoy that type of hobby. So.
All right, thanks, folks. I'm going to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more smart financial lifestyles. I'll see you again next time on Stories from a Smart Financial Life.
Thank you.